my father, Rabbi Yechiel Eckstein of blessed memory, founded the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. It was the fulfillment of my father's vision of bringing Christians and Jews together to help millions of Jewish people in need in Israel and around the world. In those early years, my father was joined in his efforts by Christian ministers such as Pat Robertson and Dr. Jerry Falwell. But other key support that launched the fellowship onto a national level and established my father among the Christian community came from an unlikely source, a Hollywood celebrity who had reached millions of music enthusiasts through his popular and gospel music, the legendary Pat Boone. He's a singer, actor, TV host, producer, songwriter, author, motivational speaker, record company head, humanitarian, family man, and that's just to name a few. In his long career, Pat has sold more than 45 million records. He has 13 gold singles, 2 gold albums, and has recorded more than 2,300 songs. He has hosted his own TV show and has starred in 15 movies. He has 3 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and in 2003 was inducted into the Gospel Music Hall of Fame. But to me, what makes Pat truly great is his tremendous love for Israel, his amazing friendship with my father, and his unfaltering support for the work of the fellowship. When my father came to him in 1992 to make an appeal to evangelical Christians to fund the freeing and transporting of Jews to Israel after the Iron Curtain fell, Pat stepped up and hosted a TV special while the doors are still open. The Christian community responded immediately with incredible donations and pledges of support. It's a partnership that has only grown in the years that followed. Pat, I could go on and on and on. I only said a small percentage of everything I think about you and all of your accomplishments, but you've been such a great friend to my father, which for me, it all goes back to that. And I'm so honored to have you on the podcast today.
Well, listen, it's been great. The time is gone now, but maybe we can do this again sometime, y'all.
I used up all my time on your introduction, but I'm definitely not the first.
Anyway, it's great to relive a lot of that because all of it's true. And when I met your dad, he was a much younger man, and so was I. And the idea of asking Christians to support the program of bringing aged Jews from behind the Iron Curtain to dwell in the promised land while they were still alive just really resonated with me, as it did with Pat Robertson and so many Christian leaders. And so when he asked if I would co-host that first special, of course, immediately I said I would, and we did. And that launched the program, which has absolutely made history. It's grown and developed. Well, it's hard to compare it to anything else. It's been so fast. It's been so large. I mean, the numbers are staggering of the aged Jews in all parts of the world who we've helped. And you've been to see them, and through the TV, of course, we visit them in their squalid circumstance. And then again in Israel, where they actually don't just come to the Holy Land, but they have places to live and people to support, and it's just miraculous. It's just wonderful, and I'm pleased to be part of it.
Oh, you are an inspiration. I remember it feels like yesterday, actually, that we were in Israel together. And I say it feels like yesterday, but it was also a lifetime ago. It was when your beautiful, amazing, beloved wife was still in this world and when my father was still in this world. So it feels like yesterday, and it also feels like a lifetime ago.
And I have a strong feeling, a virtual belief that the two of them have bumped into each other in a wonderful place. And they're reliving and rejoicing over what happened then and what's happening now. I really do. And in our home, we've lived in 63 years now. It's just me, my dog Shadow, me and my shadow, all alone and feeling blue, and 3 housekeepers who take turns. They're not all here at once, but take care of me. And I feel Shirley's presence everywhere, as I'm sure you feel your dad's. And I have come to the conclusion that this world of the spirit is just as real as the physical world, because there are many examples in the Bible, in what we call the Old and New Testaments, in both of them. So throughout the whole Bible, there are instances where the spirit world overlaps into the physical world. And so, in fact, let me tell you one quick thing. After Shirley did pass, and she was living in this den where I'm sitting now for the last 6 months in hospice, and we knew that moment was coming, and my 4 daughters and I were standing around the hospital bed when she slipped away. And we were singing one of our precious songs, Blessed Assurance, this is my story, this is my, and Yael, I mean, your dad could have sung this with us because he knew it. This is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. And we were holding that note to see if she would take another breath, and she didn't. So she slipped away into heaven while we sang by and over her blessed assurance. And about a week later, we were having a memorial service, of course, at the big church where we have been members for 45 years. And my 4 daughters were in another upstairs room rehearsing to sing a song, precious hymn song about glory. And as they were rehearsing, we had other family here in this room. And we heard all this clamor and excitement coming from the hallway that leads up to the upstairs. And we all came running. What's happened? And they said, Daddy, Mama, we know it was Mama because that acorn chairlift at the foot of the stairs, which won't operate by itself, we heard a click and a whir, and we looked out the door, and it came up the stairs by itself to the top of the stairs and rested. Now, mechanically, that's impossible. It won't go unless somebody's sitting in it, and you have to turn on the key, and then the levers on the side tell it whether to go up or down. That acorn chairlift came up the stairs by itself and stopped at the top of the stairs. And we knew that their mom would stop anything, anywhere, if she could get the girls to sing for her. She taught them to sing and harmonize. And they were singing, and she wanted us to know she was here. Wow. And you say, well, then if she didn't need her body, well, she didn't need that acorn chairlift. No, but she needed to let us know she was here. And so, 2 or 3 days later, I checked just to make sure it was still operating as it's supposed to. Sure enough, I sat in it, nothing happened. I had to turn on the switch. And then I had to press the lever to go down. And sure enough, it went down the stairs and stopped at the bottom where it is now. That happened. And I said in the memorial service, that wasn't natural. That was supernatural. Wow. And your dad and I knew that we served the same God, the same one God. Behold, O Israel, our God is one. We knew, and now he and Shirley both met him face to face. And I'm looking forward to the time. I'm not in a hurry, but I am, in a sense, anxious to be where she is. I know where she is, and I know we're going to be together. And Yael, your dad, is there already.
Pat, there's so much there that is so moving to me. The story about Shirley and going to be with your girls as they were singing, it reminds me of the story of Moses and the burning bush, that I always think how many people walked past that burning bush but didn't stop to look, but didn't stop to realize that it wasn't consuming. And in today's day and age, where we're so consumed with media and our phones and our computers and so distracted, the story that you told, which is obviously so miraculous, to me, what stands out just as much is how you and your daughters were present and conscious in order to see it. Because I think God does miracles for us all day, every day. And I think our loved ones are constantly sending us signs and sitting on our hearts and giving us direction. We just have to have the eyes to see it.
Yeah, and my understanding of that burning bush may be a little different than yours. I don't think it had been burning until Moses got there. Moses got there, and God wanted him to know, I'm here too, Moses. I'm
here with you. He spoke to him through that.
And of course, he couldn't ignore that bush that was burning and not being consumed. And then the voice of God spoke to him, and they had a wonderful meeting there on top of the mountain. And Moses was reluctant, as you remember. He said, I'm not a good speaker.
I have a lisp.
Yeah, and I'm 120 years old and I'm tired. And God says, look, I'll let your brother Aaron, he'll speak for you. He can speak for you. But you two are going and you're going to tell Pharaoh, let my people go. And Moses, but I love that.
That's a segue into your song. No, that's a segue into you giving us a VIP version of Let My People Go.
Yes, it's the second. God gave me the words to the second Jewish national anthem.
Wow. This
land is mine. God gave this land to me. And the way that lyric came was another miracle. I wanted, that song had already become the theme song of the movie Exodus with Paul Newman, Eva Marie Saint, and so on, about the re-establishment of the modern state of Israel in 1948. And so I wanted to sing that melody, but there were no words, and the publisher said there won't be any. I said, why? Because they said professional writers have tried to, submit lyrics, but they're trying to tell the whole 4,000-year history of the people of Israel in one short little song, and they haven't found a way to do it. So I just said, well, I've got to come up with an idea to present to one of those professional writers. So it was a Christmas Eve, and Shirley was saying, Pat, quit listening to that Ferrani and Teicher record, the instrumental record, and come help me get these presents under the tree so we can go to bed. I said, one more time. It's like the 40th time I put the needle on the record. Bum, 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 bum. And the words just popped in my head. This land is mine. And I realized in a second, that's the story. It's not 4,000, 2.5 million people coming across the desert, try to put that into a song. No, the one person statement, that land belongs to me. God gave this land to me. The bum, 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 ba bum. God gave this land to me. And I grabbed something and started writing. I didn't want to forget the words that were coming. It's like I took dictation.
Yeah.
I wrote in 20 minutes, I had written the lyric.
Prophetic.
It just came to me and I wrote it down as quick as I could. And now that Christmas card, on the back of which I wrote those words, is at Yad Vashem, on the wall of the righteous Gentile, where Shaya ben Yehuda came up to me and said, those words mean so much to us here in Israel. We want every Jewish child to know those words. They may not be able to sing that song. It's not easy to sing, but it's beautiful. And we want every Jewish child to know the words that you wrote, Pat Boone. And that was one of the most significant moments in my whole life. And yet it was, again, just a supernatural thing. I didn't set out to accomplish that. It happened through me.
Through you. Wow.
And so now, I have been able to visit Yad Vashem again, and I see the Christmas card on which I scribbled the words. And to think that for this Christian kid, but adopted Jewish kid, as I always call myself, I'm an adopted Jew. I wear my Chai and my Magen David here all the time, and have for many years. And at the gym, where sometimes that's all I have on is this. One of the guys said, "You're Jewish?" I say, "Yeah." Pat Boone, you're Jewish? I'm an adopted Jew. Yes, that's why I wear this. And that's been not just my statement, my belief. I know I am. Anyway,
Unreal.
that's why I'm so supportive of the fellowship of Christians and Jews, because we serve the same God. We are brethren and sisters. Amen. We are landsmen. We are kinsmen. And so we have to take care of our family. I'm just part of the family.
How good and pleasant it is when brethren dwell together in unity. It's Psalm 133 in practice.
Yes, listen, since you brought that up, and I knew that already, at my family's first Passover, Pesach, in the Diplomat Hotel, I think it was in outside Jerusalem. And there were 800 pilgrimage Jews there from all over the world. Next year in Jerusalem, well, for 800 of those Jewish people, it was next year.
Yes.
And Shirley, my wife, and my 4 then teenage daughters were all enjoying our first Pesach there. And as it was going on, we were off to the side where most of the people were in the big ballroom, and a rabbi from New Jersey was conducting the Pesach, the ceremony, and a Jewish cantor, was singing. So I get a message brought to me, and the message says, the Haggadah is Haggadah. Is that the way you say it?
Exactly.
Is a living thing, and we want to write a new chapter in it. Would you come sing Exodus for us?
Wow.
I said, well, I don't have any music. Well, it's okay if you're willing to do it. So I did, and Shirley was wringing her hands, wondering if I could sing it without any musical accompaniment. It's not that easy.
Yeah.
But I went up and I quoted the 133rd Psalm, how blessed it is to dwell together in unity, and the oil pouring down over, was it Moses' beard? But anyway, and so I quoted it. I knew it then.
Right.
And then I started singing with no accompaniment. This land is mine. God gave this land to me. And I felt something peculiar. I mean, I was standing over to the side listening to myself sing it. The song was
an out of body experience.
It was coming to me as I sang. And then I get to the second part. So take my hand and walk this land with me. And another voice joined me, and I looked around. It was the cantor.
Wow.
And he was singing the words by memory. He knew the words, and he was singing. We finished the song together. Until I die, this land is mine. Everybody in the place was crying. Yes. 800 Jews, and many of them came up later and said, we looked forward to this all our lives. We finally were here. And so much of it seems similar. It almost seemed the same thing. Well, it's meant to be. But then when we thought something different would happen, but when you sang that song and our cantor sang it with you, it made it memorable. No other 800 Jews will have had this experience.
Yeah.
And it was because I was able to come up and just sing that song at that Pesach, and it was unforgettable for me, my family, and it brought your dad and me even closer together.
Yeah, having those experiences, and I mean that's what Romans says, right? Realizing that the Christians are grafted into the rich olive tree of Israel, and Pesach, Passover, and retelling the story, and this land was given to me. Those are all the roots of this olive tree.
Definitely, yes, we are brother and sister. We serve the same one God, and your dad knew it so well. We were visiting only places in Israel when your dad came to us on one of our tours. But I said something about him on the tour bus when he got back on. And I said, a scripture just came to me. When Jesus was choosing his disciples, one of them was named Nathaniel. And he described Nathaniel as a devout Jew in whom there is no guile. In whom there is no guile. He became one of what we call the 12 apostles. And that was your dad. There was no guile, no pretense about him. It was all loving and absorbing and accepting. And he knew more of our New Testament scriptures than many of our the people we were bringing along on the tour bus. And we sang songs, Jewish songs, and what we call Christian songs on the bus together. And then he played the guitar and sang for us, and would take us. I'll never forget our last Passover, which was there with your dad. And I remember what he sang to your mom. And for all of us, we were all in tears as he reenacted all the things that happened just on a normal Shabbat night. But then, and then in the Pesach too, the man reverencing his wife.
A Proverbs woman.
Yeah, a Proverbs woman. It was so moving. And it was a tour that I was hosting along with Mike Huckabee.
Good friend of mine.
Oh boy, he and Pat Robertson and all the real the really strong Christian leaders
Yeah.
are a part of the Fellowship of Christians and Jews. And we just knew and referred to your dad as our brother. We're brothers and Lunsman. And we know that word. We're family. That's all. We're family. And though
You're incredible.
we have to take care of our family.
Yeah.
And these elderly people, these women that are barely surviving on crumbs and not even enough income or money to put wood in the fire. I mean, you go there, you put on warm clothes and you go there like your dad. And you bring us there to see these people in their poverty. And we have to reach out and give them what they need now. And then whenever possible, bring them to live their last moments and last days in the promised land.
You've been such a inspiration to me. I know to my father of blessed memory, who, when you were growing up, was your inspiration, and how did this love for Israel and the Jewish people begin?
That's really a good question because, again, it was a supernatural thing. My dad, a building contractor, an architect, a builder. Mom, a registered nurse, one who had trained to help people who were in trouble, physical trouble. She was a good nurse, daddy, a good architect, and a contractor, a builder. And these were practical professions. My brother, I'm the oldest of 4 kids. My brother, 2 sisters, and I, we were part of not only going to church regularly whenever there was a church or worship service taking place, but we read the Bible and had devotional times at home, just mama and daddy and the kids. And so reading this Bible was, we considered our history. I mean, Moses and David and Gideon. And so we considered ourselves growing up just part of the Jewish nation.
Incredible, Pat. You are such an inspiration, have such unique perspectives, and you have been such a wonderful personal friend to me and my family for so many years. So much of the success of the fellowship is because of you. And this year we were able to help 2 million Jewish people in need from over 600,000 donors, most of them Christian, who stand with Israel and the Jewish people to save lives, feed the hungry, clothe the naked, shelter those who don't have anywhere else to go, feed the poor, and to really bring biblical prophecy to fruition. So I just want to say thank you so much for helping us to celebrate another milestone in the fellowship's history.
Let me just say something about you. You've talked so much about me. I consider you, I like to look for people in modern days who remind me, so much of somebody in the Bible. You are a Deborah. And if people know their Bible, they know that when Israel was really in trouble, and somehow their military leaders and even spiritual leaders didn't know what to do about their captivity and about the mighty armies that were coming against them and subduing them. And Deborah was the prophetess. And she told the leader of the military, "You're going to have, God wants you to do this." He said, "Well, I'll only do it if you come with me. You'll have to come. And in other words, you're my right arm. You're my inspiration." And then she said, "Well, then I'll come with you, but you will not get the glory for it." Because I, a woman, a prophetess, will be really the spark plug. I'll be the one that's calling all of God's people together to win this huge victory, which you did. I say you did, Deborah did, but you've taken the place of your dad, who did not drop the ball at all. He was serving our God all the way to his last breath. And then you stepped in and took the baton and have been doing the most magnificent job. And you go the same places, you do the same things, and you're carrying on the same incredible ministry that we Christians, adopted Jews, are grateful to you for, because we didn't do it on our own. There are some who have attempted things like this, but in small ways, but they didn't have your kind of leadership. So you are a modern Deborah, and it's a pleasure to serve with you.
Thank you so much, Pat. Thank you so much. I'm humbled.
Thank you for listening to the Conversations with Yael podcast. If you like what you have heard, please check out my weekly podcast, Nourish Your Biblical Roots, that explores the Jewish roots of the Christian faith with inspirational and ancient teachings. You can also visit me at mybiblicalroots.org for more of my teachings, videos, blogs, and books. Follow me on Instagram at Yael_Eckstein or on Facebook at Yael Eckstein. Shalom and see you next month.